Hello YouTube, this is Eric from X's to OMGs. I'll be taking you on a tour of what our daily lives consist of as far as dinner preparation, getting homework done, having conversations with my queens, and then also preparing for a soccer game tonight. So this is a typical Wednesday for me. This is a typical day in the Cyroth household. So thank you for tuning in. If you like, please subscribe. Eric signing out from X's to OMGs. So today we'll be preparing dinner, stir-fry steak along with sticky rice, which I have already soaking, and then we'll make green bean salad, which tamaktua is what we call it in Lao. Typically we'll use the long beans. However, I find that the crunch from the regular green beans that you find at your local market it's a lot better. But first, we'll go ahead and prepare the meat. Once again, I don't like touching meat with my wedding ring on, so I'm going to take that off. Place it in my pocket and don't lose it like I did the last time after 2 months.
I remember that.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is I have a cutting board here. Notice that I have a cutting board up under my butcher block. I don't like using meat and cutting meat on my butcher's block. That is strictly for fruits and vegetables. I have 2 large white cutting boards that I use specifically for just meat. So I am going to go ahead and discard the containers and then start slicing away. So the first thing I like to do when getting the meat, this is actually a London broil. I find that it's a pretty good cut of meat. I like them pretty thick, and because I can slice them, and what we're going to do is we're going to slice them to get it to the thickness that I would like. But I like to cut off and trim off the excess fat. Just take any of the hard parts that you see and just slice it off. This will definitely make your chewing experience a lot better, knowing that you don't have to get through all the gristle and the fats and the meats. So a typical day in the life of the Cyroth household is I pick up the 2 younger girls around 2:35 every day from school, and then I proceed to pick up my second oldest daughter, Brooklyn Kai, at 2:50. So between that time, I come home and they get a snack, and then what we'll do is we'll go over homework if there's any, and then I'll start preparing for dinner, which I'm currently doing now. I'm not read. Typically in the household, we want them to read 30 minutes a day. Sometimes that's not always feasible, but 30 minutes a day is typically the golden rule of what we want them to read. So before we do anything, make sure that reading is already done. So as I can see here, one kid had already left because she has not read for 30 minutes yet. So I have Erica, she's at practice until about 5:30 today. So that gives me just enough time to get dinner prepared and ready to go. And then what will happen is I'll go to Wayne to go pick her up. So she goes to school. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm slicing the meat into more manageable size slices. If they're too big, it's just too hard to manage and cook. Like I said, this is a stir fry. So you want the pieces not only in a nice arrangement, in a nice size so that it can be edible. You don't want it too big to where that you won't be able to chew your food. So keep that in mind when you're cooking for a family, especially with kids. You don't want the pieces to be too big so that you wouldn't be able to cut into it, especially with the stir fry. So. Okay, so I finished chopping up all the meat, thinly sliced, ready for the stir fry. As far as it was about 3.5, 4 pounds of it total after I trimmed it. So that's good enough, big enough for my family. You may think that's a lot of meat, but I have 6 people in my family, so we gotta have a lot to go around. So I washed my hands already. I got rid of the cutting board. Notice that the white cutting board is no longer here. It's actually in the sink. You may not be able to see it from this angle, but I don't like cross-contaminating. And that's the reason why I have multiple cutting boards. New cutting board, ready to rock and roll. So now it's time for the seasonings. If you followed my last video for my birthday, the seasonings that I use are very, very similar as far as what we put into the meat. So we have our soy sauce, we have our hoisin sauce, and we also have the house seasoning. I have fresh garlic, and then I also have the oyster sauce. All right, and to top it all off, to give it a little bit more flavor, we also have some onions that we'll sprinkle on top once it starts cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my wet ingredients first. Like I said, I don't have an exact science. I just eyeball it based on what we're doing here, okay? So, looks good. Out of the way. This is going to be the base of the stir fry. Now, typically I'll grill the steak. However, because my kids like dipping their sticky rice in the juice, the broth that I create for them, they love it. So if I do that outside and grill on the steak, grill the steak outside, there wouldn't be a lot of broth to go around, a lot of that stir-fried juice. So the key to this, which is different from what I use in the pork and in the chicken, is that fresh garlic. So I use fresh garlic a lot. It just tastes a lot better, even though I'm adding garlic powder. The fresh garlic just gives it a better taste as far as beef. So let me go ahead and get this out of the way. And I will get another knife. And I will smash the garlic. Pretty cool trick. Take your knife, smash it, and then you can peel it at the same time as smashing it. And I just throw the whole cloves in. I don't bother trying to chop it any finer than that, but because it's typically in a pretty small form already. So now that I have the wet ingredients in, also the garlic, I'm going to use my house seasoning that I made, which consists of, like I said, garlic, salt, pepper, MSG. So that's the ingredients. I don't know exactly what goes in it as far as how much. I just kind of measure it off by eye and then taste it, and it's good to go. So now comes the fun part, where we have to mix. The best tools that you have, no matter what kitchen you're in, will be your hands. Best tools, okay? So don't mind getting dirty. I know my wife's not a big fan of touching meat, raw meat. I'll tell you one of the funnier stories of our cooking days. When she first started, when we first moved in together at our other house, I asked her to prepare dinner because I was going to get off of work late. I'm typically the cook. I enjoy cooking. I love it. I love entertaining. So cooking comes easy because I come from a household where both my parents are great cooks. I come home to her having dish washing gloves on her hands, trying to debone chicken breast while cutting it in the air. Okay, so if you can imagine, that was an amazing scene for me, an amazing point of my life where I could not do anything but stop and laugh. And I told her, put the chicken down, put the knife down, I'll save the rest of the dinner and take care of it for her. So, but from that point forward, she's not wanted to cook, not wanted to ever cook. So, and I don't mind it, so I enjoy doing it. So I don't ask her to do it unless I'm running late myself. But yeah, funny story, Valentine. Now the whole world knows. Okay. So now it's time to mix.
You gotta remember the time she put chicken nuggets on spaghetti.
Yeah, that will be told at a different time. Chicken nuggets and the spaghetti. Okay.
That's just
All right, so I've washed my hands. Very key when you're dealing with raw meat. Okay, please wash your hands. Antibacterial soap, use it, scrub it, wash it, hot water. It'll keep your family from being sick. So here's the finished product. All right, so here is the meat. It looks like it's going to sit here for about an hour or two to marinate before we throw it in a hot pan and start grilling it. The next thing I need to do is cut up the onions, like I said, to throw in the stir fry. Okay. So I just got done peeling the onions and I'm having a difficult time because of the fumes. I'm crying. Somebody got some onions. So I'm gonna hurry up and get these sliced real quick in just nice little chunks. Just cut them in eighths, and I'll put them in a bowl. So you would have thought I would have been cutting onions last Sunday after the Colts got whooped. I'm a Colts fan, so it's a pretty bad loss to Kansas City last weekend. So let me get this away.
Can we be Dad? Are you okay, Daddy?
You need some water?
Are we cutting that out or what?
Yeah. Those onions sat a little longer than expected, so through the power of editing, you don't see how long they've been sitting. They've been sitting a while. Okay, all right. So that dish is done. We're gonna set it off to the side. And the one thing that we're gonna start on next is the green bean salad. All right, so now we have the green beans out. What we're gonna do is we are going to take the stems off. I don't like the stems on there. I don't know who eats them with the stems on, but we don't in this household. So we're gonna break them off and put all of the stems in the trash. So I'll just go through it and sort through all of the green beans. Not very much. I think it's a couple pounds of green beans. So for some reason, these have jumped up quite a bit. They used to be about $3.50 a bag. I just left the market and they were $6. So I could tell that they were probably out of season. However, yeah, the cost of food is going up. So next year, once our springtime comes, we will be starting our garden, eating from there, living off the land. All right, so now we got all the stems off of the green beans. We're gonna give it a quick rinse before we actually start chopping it up.
I'm Brooke and Kai.
Once again, chopping of the vegetables, cutting block, chopping block. Not no meat touches this. So now we have them rinsed. We are going to then cut them and then put them in this container. Now half of these are going to go into the tteok bokki, the bean salad. The other half are going to go into the stir fry that we have for the onions and also the steak. So I typically chop these about an inch, inch and a half each. You want to make sure that, once again, they're not too big where you can't eat them, but you should be able to grab them with your hands. Okay. So I'll get these all chopped up. We're ready to go. All right, so we finished up the green beans and we got them in the container, and we're going to be splitting those and putting them in what we call here the coke and the sock. This is a mortar and pestle, in other words. What we're going to do is we're going to make green bean salad. So it starts with peppers. I'm going to use 5 since it's only going to be me. These are Thai chili peppers, so they're hot, really hot. So because I'm the only one that's eating them, I'll use 5. That's enough for the batch that I'm going to do. I'm going to add a garlic clove. Okay, a little bit also of MSG, not a lot. Okay, and then shrimp paste. All right, you're not going to find this at Walmart. You're not going to be able to find this in one of your handy dandy grocery stores. You will find this only in an Asian market. So I use a few different types of shrimp paste, but they pretty much all taste the same. This brand, my wife once called the smell of this the smell of goldfish food. So I like eating it. It's very salty in the Asian culture. A lot of sodium is being used, but I'll eat it with some carrots, with some peppers, and it doesn't taste, it doesn't smell as great. If you've never smelled it before, I don't mind it. Shrimp paste, if you want to smell it, go buy some and have a whiff. If not, you can come over and you can take a whiff yourself. So it's about half a tablespoon that I use because I don't want it to overpower what I'm trying to do. Some that make it like to make it so that it's a little bit fishier. It's a little bit tastes more fishier, and they can use what's called parak, fermented fish sauce. I don't like using it. I like using the shrimp paste. It's a little bit easier for me. So I'm going to start pounding away, and then we'll be ready to add the ingredients here shortly. So as you can see, that's what it kind of looks like. You're gonna get grounded up peppers, garlic, your sugar, shrimp paste. All right, so now it's time to add in some of the other ingredients. For 2 limes, okay? I like the taste of limes. I like my tamok tuo bean salad to be a little sour. Lime gives it a great taste. So you have the sugar that gives you a little bit of sweet. You have the spicy from the Thai peppers. You have the salty from the shrimp paste. Okay. I only squeeze one at a time, and I put my ingredients off to the side. I don't put them away because I'm going to continue to taste this to make sure it's something that I like, and then I'll add to as we go. So right now it's time to add ingredients. All right, so now we start mashing in. And you want to get these a good mash and break them up. I have friends and family members that come over and they tell me that my beans aren't mashed up enough, okay? I like it to be very, very crunchy, and I like the texture of a full, firm green bean. Now, the more you mash it up, obviously the more it's going to break down the bean itself, okay? So I won't mash it up as much. If I wanted to do that, I just put it in the food processor, but no, I'm not going to. I like it my way. So, to each in their own. If you're going to make it, try it out, do it so you like it, right? So make it how you would want it to make it, and make sure you keep writing down your recipes. Once you do that, you can trial out what works, what doesn't work, what you would like to change, and then take in other recipes as well, so that you can start incorporating them in your cooking. That's what I've done over the years. So now we get done mashing, and it kind of looks like that, if you can take a look at it. So now I'm going to add in my fish sauce, spoons, and I'm going to add in some tomatoes that have been chopped already. Lots of tomatoes with this. So, and then we once again mix again. Now, after I get done mixing all of this in together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to taste it, because if you don't taste it, you don't know how it's going to be. You don't want to take the product out of the Coke and not have tasted it. So you can add all the mixture, add all your ingredients in here. Once you do that, and when you taste it and you like it's to your liking, then you take it out. All right, so I'm going to give it a taste. Actually, that's pretty good. Actually, that's really good. I don't think I need anything else. That's money. Woo! That's hot. But that's good. Money. All right. All right, so here's the finished product. As you guys can see, it's pretty awesome. That's what you call tamok tuo. All right, spicy bean salad. We're done with that. Now we're gonna actually cook the stir fry, which I have my beef right here. So the meat's almost done. I'm going to now add in the green beans and then the onions. And we'll let that cook, and then should be good to go. Last thing is sticky rice. So stir fry is done. It looks like sticky rice is on, and I'm going to go back to my handy universal lid that I have no pot for, so it goes back. So here we go. In about 20-25 minutes, this will be done. All right, looks like sticky rice is done. I'm going to Let it steam out. Put it in our rice basket. Dinner's done. Woo. So I got a couple of my taste testers here. They're gonna let us know how it is. How's dinner?
Good.
I like this. I like the stuff from the bowl. Not the bowl, the chicken. It's not chicken. Whatever it is. Get from here. It's seasoned well. I like it. The chicken is good though. It's not chicken, Channing. What? I don't know what it is. It's beef. Well, it's really good. Whatever it is, it's good.